Tonight on CTV News, we have the highlights of last night's leaders' debate. The CTV families look forward to justice, and Clayton Cosgrove is tipped as Labour's choice as the next earthquake recovery minister. This is CTV News. I'm Grant Mangan. If last night's leaders' debate was anything to go by, the race to who will run the country as the next government is set to be a tight one.
A debate of two leaders. Prime Minister John Key went head-to-head in the Press Leaders debate against Leader of the Opposition, David Cunliffe. Key's opening statements painted National as a strong and stable government, with Mr Cunliffe stating Labour would strive to create the fairest, most decent society in the world. Both leaders were firing at each other following TVNZ leaders' debate, which lacked the same spark as last night's.
When you have a big audience like this, it's kind of a bit more fun. It's just typically a bit that kind of debate. When you're on a televised debate, as we were last week, you have quite a lot of interruptions. You don't have nearly as long a time. You have a moderator that's interjecting, and they need to do that. It's just a different format.
Held at St Margaret's College, Christchurch issues fuelled the second half of the debate, with Key defending the slow pace of the rebuild, telling the crowd Christchurch's central city is booming and almost full. Key's hometown advantage was lost when locals took to the microphone to ask the leaders questions, shedding light on the insurance issues still facing many locals almost 4 years on from the earthquake. Cunliffe promised to speed up post-earthquake recovery, committing to building more than 10,000 homes over 4 years, as well as revealing MP Clayton Cosgrove as Labour's earthquake minister under a Labour-led government. But Cunliffe tripped over the topic of capital gains tax, put under pressure by Key when asked if family homes in a trust would be exempt. Cunliffe was rattled and unable to answer.
Well, I've learned to check my facts, and so I thought it better to check that one before answering it.
The leaders fought over minimum wage, child poverty, spending, state housing and tax within the 2-hour debate. The 800-strong crowd divided at the end on who was the clear winner, that decision being left to the polls on September 20th. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
During last night's Press Leaders debate, Labour leader David Cunliffe announced, if elected to power, Clayton Cosgrove would be the new Earthquake Recovery Minister.
Earthquake Recovery Minister Jerry Brownlee. He's been leading the rebuild of Christchurch since the earthquakes. Prime Minister John Key believes Jerry Brownlee is the right man for the job. However, Labour Party leader David Cunliffe doesn't agree.
Everybody's clear that things aren't working as they should.
David Cunliffe would like to see Clayton Cosgrove take over in the role as the new minister if Labour is elected to power this month. Right now, Labour's earthquake recovery spokeswoman is Ruth Dyson, so why the change?
I have no doubt that Ruth would make an excellent associate if she were in that zone. She would be, no doubt, a strong voice for her electorate of Port Hills and for the city of Christchurch, and I have huge respect for her. But the issue is Canterbury needs a senior minister to ensure that it is regarded at a senior level as a top-level issue.
Clayton Cosgrove believes he's the best person for the portfolio.
I think Jerry Brownlee, to be fair, has done his best, but I think now is the time to pass the baton and get some action going.
Labour's earthquake recovery spokesperson Ruth Dyson is an advocate for the quake affected, but she will back Clayton Cosgrove if he becomes minister.
So we're all well aware of the fact that even though we hold portfolios now, that won't be the case after the election. I'll back whoever is the next Canterbury recovery minister as long as they're part of a Labour-led government.
Clayton says he will help lead the region. His first move would be to make changes to SERA.
The first thing I'd do is change the whole philosophy of SERA and how it operates from a blockage, which it is a blockage and has become a bureaucratic blockage to the recovery, to an organisation that facilitates progress, gets stuff done, get action.
If elected, Clayton Cosgrove will also become the Commerce Minister. He plans to hold insurance companies and EQC to account.
They have dragged the chain. 4 years on, it's not reasonable that people are still trying to battle their insurer and EQC to get their claim. People are going through and have gone through hell. But
he would like to see more houses built to help ease Canterbury's housing challenges.
One difference between Mr Brownlee and I is that, he says there's no housing crisis. I say there is a housing crisis, and I deal with people who are living through that housing crisis, either through paying bucket loads in rent or can't get a rental property.
If Clayton Cosgrove was to become the minister, Labour would need to win the election. Jerry Brownlee says he would like to be in charge until the job is finished.
I suppose over time you accumulate a huge amount of knowledge about what's happening and where, and that's, I'm sure, quite useful.
It will all come down to election night in just over 2 weeks' time. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
So which minister would you prefer? We asked Cantabrians what they thought.
Well, let's hope one will do better than the other, and Jerry Brownlee hasn't done a lot for the city, has he?
Leave the current guy as it is, he's ticking along.
Well, probably might be all right because Jerry hasn't been doing quite what we wanted, so yeah, that'd be cool.
So do you think Clayton Cosgrove would be better in the role?
Well, I think the man deserves a go.
If that's the case then, why would Clayton be doing any better, do you think?
It's difficult to say. It's not an easy job, so yeah, but let's see, there's lots of people that are still really struggling, and it's been, nearly 4 years, so yeah, I think that we do need some extra help there.
You'd like to see Jerry Brownlee stay in the role?
I think so. It's very easy to condemn a bloke, and maybe he's made mistakes, no doubt about it. But to change now would be asking for more mistakes to be made.
The leaders debated many topics last night, but the state of housing New Zealand homes came under fire following comments made by Prime Minister John Key.
The state of housing New Zealand homes was a hot topic at last night's debate. Labour leader David Cunliffe vowing to improve the standard of state housing if elected, saying growing mould within homes is unacceptable and Kiwi kids need dry, warm homes to grow up in.
The whole point of a safety net is that you can bounce back, get a ladder up and make better for yourself, your life and your family. Everybody has hard times, everybody's made bad decisions. We want a caring society where people get a second chance and a way up.
Of course the state's got to maintain it, but my government has maintained those state houses. My government's invested a huge amount of money to make sure those 65,000 state houses weren't left in the condition that we inherited them in. We've improved those dramatically.
Well known for growing up in a Christchurch state house himself, Prime Minister John Key says it's the responsibility of the tenants to look after their home.
My mother was fastidious when we had our state house, and she did wipe the mould off, and personal responsibility does matter.
But Key defended his comments following the debate, saying he wasn't implying tenants don't look after their homes.
No, I was making the exact point that we lived in a state house and that state house was in pristine condition, but it was in pristine condition because my mother cared about it and she worked really hard to look after it.
The right of politics around the world has a habit of implying moral fault on the behalf of the poor. There are people who end up in difficult circumstances through no fault of their own. There are others who get there because of bad decisions.
Housing is a big election issue in Christchurch. Comments made around housing at last night's debate could sway local voters. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Coming up, we have an update on the Ashburton shooting.
Join us this weekend as we bring you all the stories that captivated us over the past week. CTV Newsweek in Review, Saturday and Sunday at 5, only on CTV.
Hi, I'm Mark and welcome to Stay Well Pharmacy. Whatever the season, Stay Well Pharmacy has you covered. As an integrated pharmacy, we stock all the well-known pharmacy medicines, as well as quality nutritional and herbal treatments. Our team of pharmacists and full-time naturopath are here to help you find the products and advice to suit the needs of you and your family. So come in and see us at Stay Well Pharmacy, 27 Shands Road in Hornby. Stay Well Pharmacy, live well, stay well.
Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to Carpet Kingdom. At Carpet Kingdom we stock a massive range of carpets and we're also the largest vinyl stockist in the South Island. And not only do we have an excellent range in store, but you can purchase our stock online. We offer free measure and quotes, we have our own installation team, We ship nationwide, so come on down and see us at Carpet Kingdom, 312 Wilsons Road in Waltham, just off Brougham Street, or visit us online at carpetkingdom.co.nz.
My son's helped me greatly with my independence now that I've got more mobility.
Mum, I've been looking into stand assist chairs from More Mobility. They recline back with a footrest, then when you want to get out of them, they stand you up. You can even sleep on them. More Mobility can bring one out for a free trial. There's even electric beds too. What do you think? For more range and more expert advice, see More Mobility, corner Clarence and Princess Streets off Blenheim Road.
What a difference more mobility makes.
Looking for that perfect gift for a loved one? Wanting to add some vibrance to your home, or just looking to brighten up your workplace? No matter the occasion, the Hitching Post has something for everyone. Lose yourself in their extensive range of homeware, art, glass and plasma cut metalwork. The Hitching Post is your one-stop shop for great style and quality. So come on down to the Hitching Post, 722 Marshland Road.
Join us this weekend as we bring you all the stories that captivated us over the past week. CTV Newsweek in Review, Saturday and Sunday at 5, only on CTV.
Police have located the weapon they believe was used in Monday's Ashburton shooting, while local officers are under threat of another rampage.
More officers on lockdown around Canterbury, following threats received over the phone to a Housing New Zealand office. Police investigated the complaint and can confirm there were no threats to the safety of its staff. Christchurch Work and Income officers also shutting their doors due to threats. But the government is beefing up security at all WINS offices nationwide. Following the fatal shooting of 2 of their workers on Monday, 100 security guards will now be deployed at WINS offices, with a police presence at Christchurch branches. Ministry of Social Development Chief Executive Brendan Boyle says there have been 9 incidents concerning staff safety at WINS offices since the Ashburton incident. But the Ashburton community remains in a state of mourning as details of the 2 victims of Monday's fatal shootings come to light. The alleged shooter, John Tully, was charged with the double murder of Peg Noble and Liv Cleveland yesterday. Described as someone who was fun to be around and always had a smile on her face, a spokesperson from the RSA, where Peg Noble was a regular, says they're finding it pretty hard, and a minute's silence would be held at the club tomorrow.
The family of a woman killed when the CTV building collapsed is pleased that police are advancing a criminal investigation that could lead to possible manslaughter charges being laid.
It's 4 years tomorrow since the September 2010 earthquake, and more than 3.5 years since the destructive earthquake that brought down the CTV building, killing 115 people. Police are now advancing the criminal investigation into the collapse of the CTV building, with the belief that there is sufficient evidence that could hold someone to account for what happened.
Well, all criminal investigations involving criminal negligence are difficult, and this one is even more so because of the complex nature of the matters that we're going to be covering.
Professor Mana Kaisi's wife, Maisuna Bas, was killed when the building pancaked. He's pleased the police are advancing their investigation.
This is something that we've been waiting for 3.5 years, and it is really a very significant step toward justice.
This announcement follows a Royal Commission of Inquiry that found significant faults with the building's design and construction. Information from that inquiry has been assessed and evaluated over the last 18 months. Engineering firm Becker has been providing expert opinion on whether there were any serious departures from accepted standards that could amount of gross negligence. Christchurch engineers David Harding and Alan Ray could be 2 people who are re-interviewed. The Royal Commission found that structural engineer David Harding was left largely unsupervised by Dr. Alan Ray when the building was designed.
Manslaughter charges probably for us is the most appropriate for what happened.
8 police investigators are now working full-time on the inquiry. However, without a lot of specialist knowledge, these investigators will need to plan well before the interviews.
There's still a significant amount of work to be done before any investigation can be completed. The potential outcome of which is unknown at this stage.
City leaders are backing the police investigation.
It is important that there's a degree of accountability.
So I think it's appropriate. It goes to the court now and we leave it there.
Professor Al-Khazi hopes the investigation serves as a lesson for engineers working in the industry. He says human safety should always come first.
You have to think about people's life and safety when they design a building.
Families of victims living overseas also want someone to be held to account.
Everybody is waiting for justice to be done.
Professor Al-Khazi is hoping the investigation will be complete before the 4th anniversary of the February 2011 earthquake next year. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
The restoration of Knox Presbyterian Church is well underway, with the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Minister lending a hand.
Drilling the last bolt into the roof, Earthquake Minister Jerry Brownlee was on hand to help in the restoration of Knox Church.
Putting on the roof has always been a traditional sort of significant development along the way, and we're really looking forward to moving into the church and being able to throw the doors open, welcome the community in.
The quake bracing technology, which is being used to strengthen the church, was a first for New Zealand and possibly unique worldwide. Minister Brownlee commended the work done to save and rebuild the church.
And what they've done, I think, is blend beautifully the heritage parts that they could save with some very modern exteriors.
Confessing he didn't realise the beauty which was hidden within the church.
I think this is fantastic. This is a beautiful old building. I have to confess that until the earthquakes took the exterior walls down, I had no idea how impressive the roof structure inside this particular church is.
The restoration began in December 2011, being led by project manager Ron Keating.
And it's actually been a dream job because there's so much passion and enthusiasm from everyone involved.
Designed to be a community building, the church will seat around 400 people, with the ability to cater to concerts and plays.
Acoustically, the building has been designed for such use, so we're quite excited about the prospects of the public being able to enjoy the interior of the church.
The congregation has raised the $5.5 million for the rebuild, with help from the wider community, grants and insurance funds.
The congregation see this as a really important part of the development of the ministry from Knox here. You know, clearly there's an element of rebuilding what has been broken, restoring what we've lost, but more than that, it's actually giving us the impetus to think more deeply about our community here, who's around, what we can do in the city, as you know, a church in a really important kind of neighbourhood.
This Knox Church, one of many signs the city's rebuild is gaining pace.
All in all, though, you look at a street like the one we're standing in, a lot of work going on, a lot of change coming to the city, and I think it's going to be quite a splendid result in the end.
The landmark is planned to be fully reopened in November. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Off the back of the government's announcement to transition Sarah into a departmental agency, Minister Jerry Brownlee confirms the Christchurch City Council's role in the city's recovery.
Almost 4 years on, no council or city in New Zealand has ever faced a challenge as great as the Christchurch earthquakes.
This has been a unique event. It's been 4 years of turmoil that we would never have expected. You can never truly prepare for. So I think we've reached a point now where we can, certainly from a government perspective, confidently say this is the right thing to do.
Amongst adversity, Minister Brownlee confirmed the government's confidence in the Christchurch City Council.
You know, I just sense that the council themselves, as councillors, the political leaders and the new chief executive with the council team, quite comfortable about the direction they're travelling in. And, you know, once you can see that confidence in an organisation, then you know, from our perspective, would want to encourage that.
The government announced in Christchurch yesterday the plan to move the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority into the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet. The government also plans to set up an advisory committee alongside local government agencies to help guide the plan development and review Sarah's special powers. Recognising the council's role in the recovery of Christchurch, Minister Brownlee says the government have a sound working relationship with the council.
Yeah, look, I don't think the difficulties have been as real as they have been perceived by some people. I've always been able to talk to all parties engaged in who have some activity around the Christchurch City Council.
The Earthquake Recovery Minister believes how the Christchurch City Council embraced the Cameron report, which revealed a $900 million funding black hole, is courageous. Minister Jerry Brownlee says it's encouraging to see how the council are engaging with the community moving forward.
And it's sort of like we've got to a point where there is such a commitment, if you like, to overcoming those problems, recognising that Christchurch is going to be a city that grows and wanting, I think more importantly, to be making those decisions.
Christchurch Mayor Leanne Dalzell welcomed the announcement, saying it was timely on the week of the 4th anniversary of Christchurch's first earthquake. Mayor Leanne Dalzell says the council is committed to engaging with the community as it makes major decisions affecting the future of the city. The transition of Sarah will begin on the 1st of February next year. Joelle Batista, CTV News.
Still to come, voting booths officially open today.
Drive It showcases the new arrivals to the motoring world, comparing and testing the latest models to discover which one is the best. Drive It, Sunday afternoons at 2:30, only on CTV.
Hi, I'm Caitlin, the naturopath here at Staywell Pharmacy. Working with the pharmacist, I use herbal and nutritional medicine to recommend natural alternatives for your health. This can be to counteract any side effects of your medication, general health advice, or natural options for you and your family. I'm also available for consultations. So come in and see us at Staywell Pharmacy, 27 Shands Road, Hornby. Staywell Pharmacy, live well, stay well.
Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to Carpet Kingdom. At Carpet Kingdom we stock a massive range of carpets and we're also the largest vinyl stockist in the South Island. And not only do we have an excellent range in store, but you can purchase our stock online. We offer free measuring quotes, we have our own installation team, we ship nationwide, so come on down and see us at Carpet Kingdom. 312 Wilsons Road in Waltham, just off Brougham Street, or visit us online at carpetkingdom.co.nz.
Europe in Concert. A new, fantastic international artist performing every week. Saturday evening at 7 p.m, right here on CTV.
More than 300 voting booths opened for the general election today.
The countdown is on and Election Day is just 2.5 weeks away. Advance voting opened today with many MPs lining up ready to cast their votes. Chief Electoral Officer Robert Pendon says there are almost 300 advance voting places available around the country for people to cast their early votes. Election Day is the 20th of September, but early voting for some is an easier option. Around the country, times and places are varied for the convenience of the local voters. Labour leader David Cunliffe took to a Christchurch polling booth this morning, wanting to be among the first New Zealanders to place their vote. Overseas voting also opens today, giving New Zealanders living overseas the opportunity. Any questions about voting in this year's election, head to www.elections.org.nz or call 0800 367 656.
Time now for your regional weather.
Kia ora Canterbury, let's take a look at your region's weather. First in Timaru, Temuka and Geraldine, 16 degrees today. Methven hit 16 while Ashburton and Rakaia were slightly cooler on 15. Darfield 16, Leeston and Ralston a sunny day for you, hitting 16 today. Lincoln and Christchurch, hope you've been enjoying the blue skies and sunshine, 15 today. Over in Akaroa a nice day for you as well, hitting 16 degrees. A high of 15 for Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley there. And up the top in the Hurunui district, Culverden, Hanmer Springs and Cheviot hit a high of 16 today. And the low of the region went to Kaikoura with 14 degrees. But what's in store for tomorrow? In Timaru, high cloud increasing and thickening during the day with light winds, hitting an overnight low of 5 and a high of 14 degrees. Ashburton, a fine Thursday ahead with high cloud increasing later on and little wind, hitting 5 degrees overnight and a high of 14 degrees. Christchurch, fine and mild for your Thursday, but with high cloud present all day, 5 degrees at night and a high of 14 throughout the day. Up the top in Kaikoura, high cloud increasing and thickening during the day with light winds, 5 degrees overnight with a high of 14 degrees. And in other areas around the region, Temuka and Geraldine a high of 14. Methven and Rakai expect cloud all day with a high of 14. Darfield, Leaston and Ralston a high of 14 and a low of 5. Lincoln cloudy with a high of 14. Over in Akarawa a high of 14 degrees. Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley hit a high of 14 with cloud. Up the very top, Culverden, Hanmer Springs and Cheviot has a high of 14 with some cloud. But looking ahead for what's in store for the rest of Canterbury. Cloudy on Friday with a few drizzle patches. Moderate cold southwesterly winds are expected. Sunny periods increasing on Saturday with cool southwesterly winds dying out, becoming frosty on Saturday night. Fine and sunny with light northeasterly winds developing on Sunday. Becoming very cold on Monday with a period of strong gusty southerly winds and some wintry showers, with sleet possible to low levels and snow flurries developing to 300 metres. Becoming fine and sunny on Tuesday with cold southwesterly winds dying out and becoming frosty on Tuesday night. And that is all for your region's weather. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
And that's CTV News for Wednesday. I'm Grant Mangan. Good night.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.